All right, this is Randy with Team Where's My Dad?
Where's my dad? I can't find him.
All right, man. So,
All right.
how was regionals for you?
It was fun because I learned that Pale Moon is actual deck now. I learned that I still hate Bermuda.
Fuck Bermuda.
And fuck Ninja Feather.
Oh, dude, yeah.
But the tournament overall was good. The TOs and head judge, they were like on point. The tournament was smooth, quick.
Oh, dude, it was so
It was
good.
probably the best. I've been to every regional since Vanguard started, and that's probably the smoothest one ever. Yeah, man. I mean, we almost got that first place, but our Bermuda player of everybody misplayed. So, it was fun though. The team was pretty awesome. That won anyway.
Dragonic Fury.
Yeah, I played against the Narukami player. It was a pretty fun game, but I got Phantom Blaster and Gust twice, and he didn't have PG. So
Yeah, I had to play against their Bermuda player.
Yeah.
And then
that's our Kagura lost to that.
Yeah.
So it happens, but I mean,
It'd be like that.
yeah, it was still a good tournament overall. Though it was fun. Met a lot of new people. Some cool ones. I'm glad to finally get in top instead of getting bubbled out.
I know,
literally every
dude.
year.
I'm so happy that we both made it.
Yeah, I was glad that we made it. It didn't feel like it until we actually played that final game, though.
Yeah,
it was
for sure.
Cool. But yeah, I was just glad I did it with Shadows. I didn't have to borrow any jank decks. I have to use my own.
Yeah.
And I feel like I killed it on the player choice because I picked player A because I assumed that there would be no protect decks in A or very few. Because I was like, if I can avoid protect decks, my deck does fine.
Yeah.
And I was right. I played one protect deck, and that was the only loss I took during the round. Well, I took 2 losses during the rounds. One was because I went against the Bermuda player, and he got triple heal. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah,
you can't come back
basically.
from triple heal. It's like you got it.
All right.
But let's
Go ahead and get to
start
the
with
deck.
fun stuff.
Second place. Where's my dad?
I can't find him. And we had to change our team name because it was better than this, but it was shorter.
What was the original team
Okay,
name?
so the original team name was a dragon, a mermaid, and an edgelord walking to a bar. But it was too long for the certificate.
I don't know. Where's my dad seems pretty good too.
It was pretty funny. The judges lost it.
he
They were
went
dying.
out for cigarettes and never came back home.
He never came back home. I still can't find him. All right, so for the lineups, we have, this is standard. I don't know if anybody runs less than, but
If they do, you're my
it
hero.
seems janky. But you run the 4 Gusts, 4 PVDs. You always want to see the PVD first. There's very few scenarios in which you get Gust first that it's actually good and winnable match. But luckily, I only had to go into Gust first one game. Every other game, I got my boy PVD.
That's good. You got lucky. You got super lucky.
Yeah, hell yeah. Because normally I'm always getting this, and it sucks. But Saturday it was lit. Grade 2 is the best grade 2 in the game, still, in my opinion. Blaster Dark. 4 ofs.
You got all the different
originally,
ones. You finally got this one.
Yeah, I finally did. I got it. I actually got it after the tournament.
Oh, nice.
Originally, I was going to do just 3, but through a lot of test plan, I found out that 4 actually works better because sometimes the retired actually is good against Bermudas. Like if they want to play 4 and you PBD and you have the extra counterblast, it's actually good to hit this because you want to force them into playing more cards. That's always
That's good.
A
Yeah, because a
thing.
lot of people opt to run always 3.
Yeah, and that was originally what I was doing. But
I
then
even told Steven to run 3, but yeah, and running 4 would be just be the better
4
choice.
is more solid, and you want to see him a lot of times in a lot of games, but he has his moments where it's like a dead card it can be a dead card sometimes, but I run some cards to help him not actually be dead, and it actually worked for me. The second card is no surprise, but 4 Maka. People, for some reason, do not know that she's an act. They always assume that it's on place.
I kind of.
But it's an act. I had 3 opponents literally attack Blaster Dark before attacking her, so she would just sit there and be like, okay, cool, let me plus some more. Early game, she's actually better than Blaster Dark in a lot of scenarios because you actually get a super early rush off against decks that rush you back. So it's actually really solid. And the more I play her, the more I actually like her early game. Her rush game is super solid, and you'll see I have a tech that works really well with her. 2 Curse Lancer. Some people don't like them.
Some people
Some
run
people
them
do.
at 4 or 3.
I'll never run them at 4.
I
I tested that when it came. It's never a good
I
idea
think
to run
2.
at
I
4.
think 2 is the better choice.
You don't want in this deck. You'd never want a dead card that you can't call. But 2 is like the happy medium because there'll be a lot of scenarios where you'll have something out there, your opponent will damage deny you, which happened to me a couple of times where he actually clutched me a game because they'll damage deny when I'm on Gus, and that would tell me, okay, you don't have the perfect guard. So I'll just Curse Lancer them, and then boom, the blow up on them, and they'll just die from it because, you know, Gus Blaster with 5 crits is pretty nice. 2 Trumpeteer. I lowered her from the Blaster Dark Cut because the call is good in scenarios, but you don't want to overly rely on it because it's still a 9K body in a format where people rush the crap out of you.
Why do you run 2? A lot of people just run 1.
The reason why I run 2 is you don't want to run that 3rd Lancer. I don't like it. I don't like any other, like, I let a lot of people use Cathbat. I don't like Cathbat because it's, if you're going against, like, Bermuda and they have the out on you, you can't do anything. If you're going against Great Nature and they're constantly calling the field, you can't do anything unless you're on PBD, and then it forces you into PBD uses. So, like, I don't think that card is that good to me. Like, I use it, it's okay, but it's like, at least with her, I can get a resource. So if I miss my domain early, at least that gives me my domain.
All right.
And if I get rushed hard, I can use this, get Swordbreaker, get a plus off of it, and then use Swordbreakers, then take the Swordbreaker and Curse Lancer it. So it'll give me some kind of pushback.
Okay.
That's it for grade 2s. Best Blaster Dark in the game right here. Shara Expo.
I love
Blaster
that
Dork. Grade 1 lineup is it's kind of simple, but there's some text in there. For the main, I don't know why anybody would run less than. It's the main.
She's too good.
She's the best girl. Sharon, because you run Maka and you want countercharge. Countercharge
Some
is
people
real
run,
nice.
like, I've seen some people run it at 3 sometimes.
I don't know why. I don't know. Like, to me, I can
too
see
solid
why
of a
you would do it, but the fact is, this card is like always a solid card. Even if it's not like, oh, you don't get the call, you can still call as an AK booster, and there's still like, there's more often times where you'll have a Maka out there. Again, like if people don't kill the Maka, this is a recurring effect that you can have. So if you have multiple, you can technically use it because it's not on place. I only run 3 Swordbreaker because I don't like her for it. I think she to me is more of a dead card in the late game than a lot of other stuff. You only really use her for sacrificing off later. So you want to just eat through her early and just use her skill early on just to get that advantage going and then go. But you never want to get stuck with this card late game. It's vanilla at that point. You don't want a vanilla 5K. I run 1 Fear Sword. That gives me an extra call option, and it's actually won me a game where I had Blaster Dark. I was going against Kagero, and what I did was I had, instead of putting the Force on Vanguard because I knew Gus Blaster would get through, I put 2 Force markers on the rear guard and went Blaster Dark on rear. Let go Fear Sword. Fear Sword skill without using, I just saved my Counter Blast because I want to protect it for 1 more turn. And then I used Fear Sword, gave him 3, and he was swinging 33. And then I hit a crit, of course. 43, he couldn't guard it.
That's crazy.
Because he had to guard 2 big attacks with crits. So this card is really clutch because it makes you hit numbers with Maka, Blaster Dark. Doesn't really do anything for the grade 3s. And then the spiciest of techs, Abyss Router.
Oh, shit.
This card is so
shit.
lit. First, I was against this card.
I like that card. I've always liked it because, like, it gives you that extra draw.
It was, but then when we did the test playing on that Friday night, me and Drew, we test played this card, and oh my god, this card puts in so much work. Because you didn't think, like, a lot of scenarios, you're like, I don't want to call a trigger. That came up twice. When I played in the final round before top against the Gun Salute deck, this card clutched it out. It actually drew me into the Gus Blaster that I needed to win the game for the next turn. And then it was against the Bermuda player that I actually beat. I got this card, gave me the draw. It got me my PBD, so I didn't have to ride Gus Blaster first. So I was able to hit him with the PBD early, and he couldn't recover from that. So this card is like so clutch because you can also use Maka to call this, draw 1 for Maka, then Abyss Router skill, Soul Blast, draw 1. Now you have a 3-piece retire and you gain 2 cards, so you only lost 1. So it's actually it's a really good card.
We got the 3-piece chicken dinner.
3-piece chicken dinner.
Yeah.
Like, she's lit. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it might get changed for the future, but like this weekend, this card put in so much work. Like,
Yeah, and
She
that's
was
all
really
that
good.
matters.
And then we got the trigger lineup. Well, you know, starter, obviously, whatever. We all run the same starter. I run 7 crit, which I see a lot of people doing. 7, 6. 6 is also fine, but my problem with 6 is protect decks.
Yeah.
Deck out game is real. It's you can avoid it, kinda, but it's still like grindy because you know angels hit heals all the time.
Yeah.
5 draw. This is in there as an extra call, but also
Especially
extra
with the Abyss Router.
and Abyss Router. And also another reason why Abyss Router is so good because I knew that there would be like a lot of Brants. Probably at player 8 because you know people want to try to cheese the decks, cheese out the crits. So what I did, well actually I learned is like you can actually just use the main to get out whatever trigger you don't want to hit. And then you can use your PVD to kill it and wipe him because they have a hard time recovering. I didn't play any Brants, but the decks I did play, this still worked against. And then the 4 heal because obviously heals are heals. But yeah, that's the deck. It was fun. I won my final game, but my teammates lost theirs. So the dream is dead. We didn't get our first place, but
It's okay. At least Dad might see you on the website.
yeah, my peepaw might find me now. So you know. But yeah, it was a good weekend. I had fun. Deck put in work, but it's gonna go into storage until we get our new stuff because Protect only gets stronger and then Messiahs get wild. But yeah.
Alright, man. Thank you so much for being on the channel.
You are welcome.
Alright. And we will see you guys in the next video. See you.